What's good, guys? I haven't clearly been posting videos on YouTube for months because I simply just didn't have the drive or the want to. I'm not gonna say I didn't have the want to. I wanted to. I didn't want to that bad. But I know it's kind of like, what? Your suicide story? Not Kara K, not Raw Queen. Well, no. People, I'm just a human just like you guys. Um, yes, I call myself a goddess in the flesh, but at the same time, I'm also in flesh. So I'm still a human just like everybody else. So, I say ignorance is bliss because that's kind of what brought me to my depression and why I even attempted suicide was because I'm not ignorant anymore. And that has something to do with spiritual awakening. Now, I would say I've been woke since I was 13, but I didn't really start having my spiritual awakening until about almost 3 years ago. It'll be like 3 years in May of next year, I think I'm correct. But say that to say, a lot of people think this spiritual awakening is like rainbows and daisies and sunshine and just all glitz and glamour and gold and it's so beautiful, and it's not. There's a reason why ignorance is bliss. And knowledge is not just power. Knowledge can also bring you pain, kind of similar to the truth hurts. And a lot of people don't want to know the truth, don't want to see the truth because it does hurt. And knowing the truth requires you to change, because once you know, you either have the choice to do something about it, change something, or be stupid. Because once you know and you do the opposite of what you know, at that point you're actually stupid. Like that's not me being rude or being mean. Like, people, if you call somebody ignorant because they don't know something, they take that as offense or offensive, and I'm like, no, that's actually the definition of ignorance. Like, you're ignorant. But we use it to insult people when they're actually not ignorant. So now people don't actually care about the etymology of words. But once you know something, you have to do something about that. And once you wake up and you have this sense of knowledge about who you are and the world you live in, and that you're responsible for everything around you, even when you get to the point when you realize this God source outside of yourself is actually inside of you, and everything around you is a vibration off of you. You attract your positive and you attract your negative. You are in control of your own life. No one else is but you. That changes a lot. And some people can take that information and run with it. And that's honestly what I did in the beginning. I ran with it. But life is still life. Life still throws you lemons. Life is still this cycle of pain and joy. And somewhere in there, life got me. And there's no outside source for me to turn to, because I know there's not. I mean, of course we have our guardian angels and we have our ancestors, but at the same time, whatever position I'm in, I'm self-aware enough to know that I put myself in this position. I saw a motivational video about 2 years ago that said, life doesn't just happen to you. Everything that happens, if something falls, it's because you let these different little nonchalant little things catch up to each other. And that's what creates this fall. Now, don't get me wrong, some things do happen, like you're driving and then someone just T-bones your car. That stuff does happen. But if you can look at that in two ways, either it happened to you or wherever you was going what caused you to go there to put you in that position when you got hit with that T-bone? Because stuff is going to happen. Negative is going to happen. Positive things is going to happen. That's just the cycle of life. That's just what it is. That's how things work. You are happy, you're sad. You have good, you have evil. Like, good and bad. And so, just the simple fact that I understood that this life is this cycle, when I started going through a lot of stuff, 2019 has by far been the hardest year of my life. I'm not even gonna joke about that right now. Like, it's been one of the most difficult, challenging, I have to be super self-aware of myself years I've ever faced. Back in 2014, I actually dealt with, I ended up getting molested again for like, I don't even know how many times. That's not what this video is about. But it was attempted rape, but I fought hard enough where he didn't actually rape me, because he couldn't. I wouldn't like, but he still got his fingers. But long story short, that year was a hard year, because that, I actually spoke up that year, and it was a lot of court, a lot of his family bashing me. It was a lot to deal with. And prior to that, I got raped. So it was just a lot to deal with in 2014. But 2019, I crumbled. I crumbled. I crumbled. Like, I don't know how else to say that, to the point where I just didn't want to do this life anymore. And I apologize if y'all can hear these kids and music in the background, but I live in Haitian and Latina kingdom right now, so you're going to hear that on a Saturday morning. But my life, just being aware, because then I was able to turn to an outside source to help get me through. But this time, I had to turn to me. I have to actually like fully feel everything, and I'm responsible for it all. And I know that I have the power to change my reality. But it's different with knowing you have the power to change your reality and actually having the strength to do it. Especially after you've been broken. Especially after you feel like you don't have any more power. Even though you know you do. And you even know the steps to take to get things done. It's just still you and your mind. That's the biggest battle. That's your biggest enemy. It's your mind. To get back in control of that is hard. And sometimes you just lose control. And I lost control. I just didn't want to do life anymore. I didn't want to continue to play this game of life and joy, pain and joy, this game, this cycle, because it's going to continue to happen. And I understand things that I wish I didn't understand. I wish I couldn't pick apart humans the way I can and analyze everything the way I can. I wish I wasn't clairvoyant like I am. Well, I'm not saying I wish. At the time, that's what I wished. I wish I didn't see how fake everything was, how orchestrated everything is. I wish I didn't see the Matrix. Because it makes you ask the question, what is the point? What is the point of all of this? Social media. I hate social media, but I have to do it because there's things I want to do in life. And social media is business to me. I don't use it for self-worth and validation and all of what I know most people do. Or I would say majority, or half, because a lot of people use it for business too, but it's still somewhere in there for your self-worth and validation. And I went to a place where I don't care what people think, that it was just hard for me to play even the social media game. But at the same time, that puts me in a position of, well, you're stuck, because I don't want to be anybody's employee either. And it's just the whole thing of work and bills and people, family, love, all of it, just all of it. Like humans. And when you are able to see everything for what it is on a larger scale, it's not just some narrow way of living. It's very overwhelming. And you really sit there and ask yourself, what the fuck is the point of me going through all of this? Especially if I don't have to. I'll just eject. Like, oh no. Earth is ghetto. I don't want to be here. Like, I hate this shit. And I've been going, like, we all go through shit. But, I mean, I've been going through stuff. And just seeing, like, you're always going to go through stuff. You have a whole life ahead of you. You're going to continue to go through stuff. I mean, you have to be mentally strong to handle it. But I got tired of being mentally strong. I got tired of being the person who holds everybody up. I got tired of being the bigger person. I got tired of keeping myself together. I mean, even though I'm responsible for keeping myself together, no one else is. I got tired. Like, I got tired, y'all. You know how old people be like, I'm just tired, baby. It's my time. Like, I'm over here really feeling like I know I'm an old soul. I'm tired. It's my time. Because I understand at my age, I understand more things than my peers do, and they aggravate me. And this is why the men who I date are super older than me, and why my friends are in their 40s, and like I'm in my 20s. My best friends are in their 40s. I communicate and connect with them on a different level than I can people my own age. Like, people my own age most of the time aggravate me because they're thinking about the wrong stuff. But also at the same time, a lot of us don't question stuff and can see the world for what it is. Not trying to sound arrogant, but like I can. Because I've always been like this. Even when I was a kid, I used to stare at myself in the mirror and just, why are you here? What is this body you're in? Who are you? How can you recognize your own face right now? Like, I used to do stuff like that. I used to stare at grass and analyze the actual hair and veins in it and try to understand it. You know, I don't know. I've just been this way. I thought I was going to invent psychology. I didn't, obviously, but I love psychology. I love the study of humans and their behavior. And in a way, understanding humans and their behavior has came back to bite me in my ass. But instead of using what I know to haunt me and to make me depressed, it's like, you know these things. You are aware of shit that most people are not. You can control yourself in ways that most people don't even begin to know how. Use that to your best ability. Use that for your advantage, I mean. So that is what brought me out of my depression. Fortunately, I didn't die because I really did commit attempt suicide. I attempted to overdose, and I did pass out, but I didn't take enough pills to fully overdose. I did end up in the hospital for a few days, and I got out, and that's all I needed was a break from life. I needed to stop. I needed it all to stop for 2 seconds. And I got to have my 2 seconds. And while I was in the hospital with other people who were dealing with mental issues like me, apparently, I realized that I'm okay. I realized that I can get through this. I realized I got to see a lot more stuff about myself and about this life. I got to actually see use your same gifts, use your tools, use what you know for your advantage, Kara. Because you're not dead. So do your best. Play the game. Just play the game. If you play the game, being aware of the game, you got an upper hand. Because some people don't even know that it's a game that they're playing. They don't even have an idea that they're in the Matrix. And just because you understand people, don't let people get to you. Like, just be like, okay. Like, with me being a reflection coach and helping people reflect on situations, because I'm really good at that, because I can pick apart everything. I will make you look at situations that you would have never looked at, because most people like to stay on the surface. I don't even know how to stay on the surface. Like, my brain won't allow me to stay on the surface, which is why I'm so deep, which is why I can be annoying, because I'm always deep, and I have to remind myself, don't say certain stuff around certain humans, because they cannot digest what you're about to say, because they stay on surface levels, because it's comfortable there, because ignorance is bliss. But knowledge is power, but knowledge can also bring you pain, just like the truth can hurt. So I was making this making this video to share my story, and sharing with y'all, because that's, once again, my whole point of this channel, once I get it right, is to just be real, and to be raw and open, and to express, like, we're all humans. And to help enlighten in the best way I can. I just want to be a crumb on people's journeys, you know? I only want to make the change I'm supposed to make. And so, because I know I can't change people's, like, I'm just being real. You cannot change someone who's not ready to shift. And I don't put that weight on me. Like, people who come to me and ask me questions, people who need my help, they needed it, they wanted it, they were ready for it, and whatever message I had to get to them was time for them to receive. I don't go out here like pushing a message fully, because one, I don't need that pushback in my life like that. I don't care. Two, people gotta meet me where they're at, and I gotta meet them where they're at. I'm going to say what I'm going to say, you know, and I'm going to say what I'm going to say with a reason. Every time, with a reason. And if you accept it, you do. And if you don't, it's not on me to change your perception. And so, I can only do what I'm supposed to do. And at this time, that's all I'm focused on, is shedding all of what has bound me, what I've allowed to, and just being my 100% self unapologetically. Because this is a game. And humans react out of their egos and their emotions, and I've been that person. And because I've been that person, it helps me to understand people even more. I feel like a lot of stuff that I go through, like this year, I needed to go through, obviously, because how can you teach someone or coach anyone, since I'm a reflection coach and I help people reflect on certain situations and even themselves, especially with narcissism, how can you do that? Well, I guess efficiently, if you really don't experience what it's like to be in someone's shoes, you know what I'm saying? And I will never experience everybody's situation, but I can experience a situation where I can relate. And so that's where I am right now. Instead of being upset about shit, I'm going to do my best to just be understanding about literally everything, since I can see it for what it is, and not let that be sad and hurtful and damaging to me, but let it be a gift, because that's exactly what it is. It's a gift. You know, like, you hear those stories, or like, I don't know, of mediums who all these spirits come talk to them and stuff, and it's like, oh my God, it's too much, and like their gifts sometimes can be a little overwhelming. That's, to me, what my gift of being able to not, I wish I could be sugar coated and lied to about reality, but I can't, because I don't have those lenses. I've never had those lenses. I never believed in Santa Claus. I never believed in Tooth Fairy. I never believed in like the little lies. Well, I didn't really believe in the little lies that, you know, adults in TV, like, I hated Dorothy. I hate cartoons because I understand that they're not real. And that sucks because I kind of want to be a little oblivious, you know? I want to know what it feels like to really be oblivious. I never really believed in God, even though I was a Christian, because there was so many questions I had. I just went along with everything like I was supposed to, and I was a good girl. But when I got old enough to really question some shit, I did. And my mom and my dad were not surprised that I ended up this way, because they knew their daughter. I was always like this. You couldn't fool me. And I used to be upset about that. Like, why can't I just enjoy life like others? Well, instead of wishing you enjoy life like others, be glad that you're not a white sheep. So, but that's all. That's all I came on here to express this to you guys. And just to let you know that spiritual awakening, I recommend it. But be aware of exactly what you're doing. And understand that you're in control, and use that for your advantage. Don't let that ever tear you down. But that's it. That's all I got. So thank you for watching my video. Hope you like my channel. Please subscribe. I am coming out with more videos. But that's all. Be real, be raw. Peace.